Let's continue about the list comprehension. The conditional list comprehension, as we learned, is something that apply a condition to make a filtration for something that we have. For example, like we did before, we can filter the list with whatever is first greater than 0 and return it here. Let's, for example, filter the even numbers only. Use only the filter numbers, like filter the odd numbers out. If n mod 2 equal 0, this will only be true for even numbers. So the list will contain only the even numbers. You can also have more condition as you would like. You can have something like if n mod 2 equal 0 and n mod 3 equal 0. So this will be satisfied only for 6 and minus 6. In a very similar way, we can actually have like a nested if conditions. So if you, instead of you writing f and something, you can write f. You can think of it like you have a for loop, inside it if condition, inside it if condition, and so on. But I would say that this style is a better one. But the moral of that is, think of it like for loop, f, inside it f, then inside it the value of n. In a similar way, let's say that you would like to find all the vowels character in a string, which should be these characters only. So you can here for loop over the character of the syntax for I in syntax, and your condition is if I in this character, then append all of this character. So this is how in general we read the conditional expression. We start from the for loop, then we read an if and if and if, then we evaluate these i's and append them. Let's make things more readable here. Let's say I would like to filter all the numbers that are even and transform the result to the square of the result. I'm here starting to use functions. Square I is just returning the square of a function, and is even is checking if the number is even or not. In this condition here, I have a for loop. Inside it I indented there is an if condition, and the result, which is square n, will be appended to a list. So the for loop will go, then it check if the number is even, and if the result is true, this number will be evaluated and put inside the list. As we learned that this part is called filter. This part is called transform. So this is a filtration for what we don't need, and this is a transformation for it. If things are simple, we just write them online, all of them together. If things are a bit complicated, then we better split them in functions like that. We can also have some transformation happening with an extra if condition here. You can think of that exactly like the normal transformation. Let's say I have here x with 10. Let me introduce something here first. Let's say that x equal 10. I can write something like that in Python. It is an if-else condition on a single line. You write the following: m equal x if x mod 2 equal 0 only. But if this is false, assign m to 2 times x. So this is how you write an if-else condition on a single line condition. Again, let's see this one. M equal x if x mod 2 equal 0, else 2 times x. The way that we convert this line of code is as following: if x mod 2 equal 0, go ahead and assign m equal x, else assign m to 2 times x. Please make sure that you understand this one line assignment statement with an if condition. I will show you how to use an if condition before also the for loop. In this condition here, we have in this comprehension, we have only the if condition after the for loop, which is doing the normal filtration. Here we are also have a if condition before it that help us in doing a line transformation. So the code is saying if the number is even, then either use n if n is greater than 0, or use minus n if this is false. This way the overall of the list will be that way. Remember that we can replace this condition with a function and all of this condition with a function. It is just sometimes we don't need to waste our time in writing a lot of functions. Let's see a case here that where list comprehension is by default very slow. We have here a list function, and we have an equation of I that return 2 times I. In the normal way, you would write for loop over the list, compute result, and if result is greater than 20, you are pushing the result in the list. The moral of that is we code the function equation once only and put the value in the result. Now let's see the list comprehension. we will make a for loop, and we need to make a filter. So if equation of n greater than 20 is a filter, if this is true, we assign equation of n. Where is the problem? The problem is the equation n value is computed twice, once here and once here. So the list comprehension by default in this way is very slow. There is a way to solve this problem with what we call the assignment expression, or the walrus operator. This operator is only available in Python 3.8, and it's as simple as it allows us to assign and return the value in one single expression. You cannot in Python write something like print status equal true. This will be error, because this is just assigning true to status, attaching it or binding it. With a with walrus operator, you write here colon equal. You don't need to write the space. You write colon equal. This will do two things. It will first of all, it will attach a true to the status variable. In the second step, it will also return the status value to be printed. Here in a very similar way, you can write if condition like that. If size colon equal length, you are assigning the length and using it. Observe that if you didn't put the parentheses, the greater than is higher in priority, so it will be assigned in a wrong way. Finally, here with the list condition, this is how we can make both of them together. That's all.